Civil Beat goes in depth on this potentially dangerous bacteria, and then completely switching gears, there's also a story about how Honolulu International Airport isn't just a hub for travel, but hunks and babes as well. I kid you not. Those are just some of the stories that our media partners at Civil Beat are following. And joining us live over Skype is reporter Chad Blair. Good morning, Chad.
Good morning, KITV.
So before we get to the airport story, let's do the serious first and talk about this E. coli warning from the Department of Health. What more can you tell us?
Well, I can't add too much more to what Ryan already said. He hit all the high points. I would just add some of the other symptoms include nausea. He mentioned diarrhea. I hate to say it over the air. Bloody diarrhea, even kidney failure. This is described as a particularly harmful strain of E. coli. I can also tell you that the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say it's also highly infectious. Apparently, it's passed by a contaminated produce or undercooked beef. So that is something to keep an eye on. But as Ryan indicated, we still don't know what the source is of this breakout.
It's certainly disturbing, and definitely call your doctor if you see those symptoms. Now, Civil Beat is also working on the story about those bus costs, and last year lawmakers blasted the DOE for failing to rein in those costs, but now they're cautiously optimistic that the department is moving in the right direction. So what made the change?
Well, one reason is two bills are moving through the legislature that would give the department more control over those bus contracts. Senator Jill Takuda and Representative Marcus Oshiro expressed some optimism in that regard. However, they're not going to appropriate money yet in the budget. They're still waiting to see how a contract bus pilot program works out on the Big Island. But as you know, Civil Beat has reported extensively on how these costs have skyrocketed.
Absolutely. Some great investigative reporting, Chad. And finally, it's the story that everybody's talking about. The Honolulu International Airport is now a hot spot for hookups. Why is that?
You know, you probably should have sent me to the airport this morning so I could report directly on site. I mean, if anybody told me Honolulu International Airport was a place to meet people, I would have laughed. But this is true. It's a story that's posted on our website. You can read it. Why is the airport so hot? Well, a lot has to do with the fact that 21 million people go through that airport every year. They're going to Asia, Pacific, to and from. There's a lot of beautiful people, basically, floating around. One area that was singled out is, you know, that garden, that open-air garden between the concourses? Well, apparently that's the place to hang out because you can work on your tan. And as I understand it, though, there's no nude sunbathing.
Oh, thank goodness. But hey, who knew you could find romance at the Honolulu International Airport? All right, we want more investigative studies on that one, okay, Chad?
I'm on it. Don't you worry.
And thanks, Chad. You can find the complete stories that we just discussed on civilbeat.com. We'll be right back. It is 6:39.